Welcome back, students. As you know, we are doing chapter 14, Natural Resources. And in the last lecture, we studied what are natural resources, what is air, how wind is created, and how rainfall occurs. In this lecture, we'll continue with some of the topics related to air and then we'll move to water, the another natural resource. So, let us start with our lecture. So students, now you know that air is the breath of life. Why? Because the oxygen which is present in the air is used by living organisms for the process of respiration. Along with this, there are some other factors also which suggest that atmosphere, which means the region comprising of air, is very much necessary for essential of life. So let us see how it is essential. First one, it contains various gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, which are required for various life processes by plants and animals. So not only oxygen but other gases present in the air are also used by plants and animals for their various life processes. Second one, carbon dioxide is used by plants to prepare food by the process of photosynthesis. This you are already knowing that plants use the carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere for the process of photosynthesis. Third, oxygen is required for burning, combustion and respiration. So along with respiration, it is also used for burning and combustion. Fourth, ozone layer is acting as a protective layer which avoids or prevents harmful ultraviolet rays to enter the Earth's atmosphere. Students, you might be knowing that so many types of radiations are coming from the sun towards the Earth. Ultraviolet rays are one of them, and these rays are very much harmful if they enter the Earth's surface. But they are not able to enter the Earth's surface because our atmosphere contains ozone which prevents those rays to enter the surface of the Earth. Fifth, carbon dioxide dissolved in water forms carbonates which is required by marine animals to form their shells. So this is the importance of atmosphere in sustaining life. But even though it is so much important, it has been polluted by various human activities. So the next topic now which we are going to study is air pollution. So first of all, what is air pollution? Air pollution is the introduction of harmful materials into the atmosphere, causing damage to living organisms and to the environment. First of all, let us see the causes of air pollution. Air is getting polluted by natural sources also and human sources also. So the natural sources are smog that comes from the wildfires. So when fire is created in the forest, smog that comes out causes air pollution. Volcanoes, during the volcano eruption, smog comes out which creates pollution. Methane, if it is released in the atmosphere, it creates pollution. Dust particles, they also create pollution. Now human resources, power plants and automobiles. Smoke coming from the power plants or industries or the automobiles, means our vehicles, create pollution. Fumes released from the burning of fossils, burning of wood, stoves, fireplaces and furnaces. All this creates air pollution. So, the fossil fuels like coal and petroleum contain small amount of nitrogen and sulfur, and when these fuels are burnt, nitrogen and sulfur too are burnt, and this produces different oxides of nitrogen and sulfur, and if they are inhaled, they are very dangerous. And not only this, these oxides dissolve in rain and give rise to acid rain, which is one of the harmful effect of air pollution. The combustion of fossil fuels also increases the amount of suspended particles in the air, and these suspended particles could be unburned carbon particles or substances called hydrocarbons. So when fossil fuels are burned, some particles are released in the air, and these particles are either carbon particles or they are hydrocarbons, that is the compound containing carbon and hydrogen. And if there is high level of such pollutants in the atmosphere, then visibility will be lowered, means we won't be able to see clearly, especially in the cold weather when water also condenses out of air. Students, you might have seen during winter you are not able to see clearly because of fog and mist. This is also known as smog and is a visible indication of air pollution. Studies have shown that regularly breathing air that contains any of these substances increases the incidence of allergies, cancer, and heart diseases. An increase in the content of these harmful substances in the air is called air pollution. So we can say that the presence of harmful substances in the air is called air pollution. So these are the effects of air pollution. First of all, human effects. Example, diseases like cancer, heart disease, allergies, etc. Second is environmental effect. Acid rain, we have already seen. Eutrophication. It is related to dense growth of plants in the lake or other water bodies due to contamination of air. Haze, that is like mist or fog, due to which we are not able to see clearly as they are present in the atmosphere. Wildlife, when the harmful suspended particles are released in the air, they may affect wildlife also in many ways. Ozone depletion. We know that ozone protects us from harmful ultraviolet radiation, but due to this air pollution, it is getting depleted, and holes are also created in the ozone layer. Crop and forest damage. Presence of harmful particles in the atmosphere also affects the crop and the forest. Last one, global climatic changes. Students, you might have heard about global warming. It is due to this pollution of environment only. We are going to study it in detail in this chapter. So these are the effects of air pollution. The next natural resource about which we are going to study in detail is water. Water is the most unusual natural compound found on the earth and which fulfills almost various demands of different living things. About 3/4 of Earth's surface, that is 75%, is covered with water. It is present underground, a very large area on the surface, that is sea, ocean, etc., and also in the form of water vapor in the atmosphere. Now let us see why water is called a wonder liquid. A very large area of Earth's surface is covered with water, we are already knowing. Water is also found inside the Earth, that is in the form of underground water, and it is also present in the atmosphere as water vapor. The water in the seas and ocean is saline, means it is not drinkable, it is salty. Fresh water is found in rivers, lakes, ponds, and as ice and snow at the poles and the mountains in the colder region. Water is needed by living organisms because all life processes and cellular activities need water. We know that we are using water for cooking, bathing, washing vessels, clothes, etc. And same way, in chapter 5 we studied that for activities of the cell, water is needed. So all organisms need water to survive. Without water, any of the organism will not be able to survive. The amount of water and other factors like temperature and nature of soil decides the diversity of species and number of individuals of each species in area. Now let us see why water is very much essential for life. First one, about 70% weight of human beings is due to water. Second, all cellular processes take place in water as a medium. You know it very well, we have studied in chapter 5. All reactions take place within our body and within the cell occur between substances that are dissolved in water. Fourth, transportation of substances from one form to another take place due to water. So, in our body, food and various other substances are transported from one part of body to another part of body, and this transportation takes place with the help of water. Terrestrial life forms require fresh water for transportation of substances and also to get rid of high amount of waste. Terrestrial life means the organisms living on land. They require fresh water for transportation also as well as for removal of waste from their body. Next is water pollution. The increase in content of harmful substances in water is called water pollution. So when harmful substances are getting added to water, it creates pollution of water. Now let us see how it is caused. Water pollution is caused by addition of harmful substances like fertilizers and pesticides from the farms, sewage from towns, cities and factories, harmful chemicals from the factories, disease causing microorganisms, changes in the amount of oxygen dissolved in water or changes in the temperature of water. We know that farmers use fertilizers and pesticides in their farm, and during rain these fertilizers and pesticides come along with the rainwater and get collected in the water reservoirs, which pollutes the reservoir. The dirty water coming from the factory contain harmful chemicals. When they mixed with the water reservoir, they pollute it. Sewage from towns, cities and factories, that is the dirty water coming out from the houses, gets mixed with the reservoir and pollute it. Some disease causing organisms also come along with the harmful substances released in the water and they pollute it. So all these are the causes of water pollution. So these are the main causes of water pollution: industrial waste, sewage waste and agricultural waste. Now let us see the effects of water pollution. Water pollution is very harmful to humans, animals and water life. So in general we can say that it is harmful to each and every species. Next is, it leads to death of aquatic animals. The animals which are living in water, if they consume this contaminated water, the chemicals present in it may create adverse effect on their health and sometimes they may die also, or they may get diseases also. Human beings also may get disease like cholera, typhoid, dysentery by the consumption of contaminated water. Ecosystem can be severely changed or destroyed by the water pollution. So it affects the ecosystem also. Not only water pollution is happening, through that land and air pollution is also happening. So when water is getting polluted, land and air also gets polluted. You know that foul smell comes from polluted water, which creates air pollution, and the region where polluted water is collected also gets polluted. So this way it leads to land pollution also. So students, this was about water pollution, its causes and its effects, and with this we conclude our lecture. So in this lecture we studied how air is essential for life, and we also studied air pollution along with its causes and effects. We saw that water is a wonder of life, and we also studied water pollution in detail. We'll continue with other topics in next lecture.